You're scared to send one email, scared to post one idea, scared to say one controversial opinion. A stand-up comedian walks on stage in front of 200 strangers with a microphone and risks bombing publicly for 10 straight minutes. Who's braver? Not the CEO, not the influencer, the comedian. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why rejection isn't your weakness. Your avoidance of it is. Chapter 1. They normalize failure. Most people think confidence comes first. Wrong. Exposure comes first. Jerry Seinfeld bombed for years. Kevin Hart got booed off stage early in his career. Dave Chappelle has entire sets that fail. You see the Netflix special. You don't see the dead rooms. Psychologist Albert Bandura called this self-efficacy. Confidence builds through repeated exposure to difficulty, not before it. You avoid situations where you might look stupid. Comedians schedule them nightly. They don't hope to avoid bombing. They expect it. An expectation changes everything. When failure is part of the model, it stops being identity-threatening. You fail once and think, I'm not cut out for this. They fail and think, good data. But here's the problem, though. Public failure hurts. Chapter 2. They detach identity from performance. You think, if my idea fails, I fail. If they reject me, I'm rejected. Wrong. Comedians test jokes like scientists test hypotheses. If the joke dies, they adjust wording. Timing, delivery, structure, they don't spiral, they iterate. Stanford psychologist Carol Dweck calls this growth mindset. But here's the deeper layer. Professionals don't just believe they can improve. They assume improvement is required. A bad set isn't a verdict. It's feedback. You treat rejection as judgment. They treat it as calibration. Big difference. But here's the thing, though. Repeated rejection still stings. Chapter 3. They build rejection tolerance. Most people experience rejection rarely, so it feels catastrophic. Comedians face micro-rejection constantly. Silence, no laughs, hecklers, it becomes normal. Psychologists call this desensitization. Exposure reduces emotional intensity over time. If you get rejected once a year, it feels devastating. If you get rejected 10 times a week, it becomes background noise. Your brain recalibrates. The amygdala fires less. Fear response weakens. You don't lack ability. You lack volume. But here's the real unfair advantage. Chapter 4. They chase tension. A joke is tension plus release. You build discomfort, then relieve it. That formula trains emotional resilience. Comedians deliberately walk into awkwardness. They address uncomfortable truths. They sit in silence before the punchline. Most people avoid tension. They rush to safety. Avoid conflict, avoid discomfort, avoid risk. But growth lives inside tension. Psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi described flow as operating at the edge of difficulty. Too easy bored, too hard anxious. Comedians live in that edge zone. You hide from it. That's why your comfort grows. But your courage doesn't. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Rejection isn't the real enemy. Chapter 5. Social fear is evolutionary. Humans evolved in tribes. Rejection once meant danger. Your brain still treats social risk as survival risk. That's why posting online feels terrifying. Your nervous system thinks it's life or death. Comedians override this wiring through repetition. Repeated exposure rewrites threat perception. The stage stops feeling like a battlefield. It becomes a lab. You're not weak, you're untrained. There's a difference. But here's the final layer. Comedians don't just tolerate rejection. They seek it. Open mics, new material nights, unproven bits. They choose environments where they might fail. Why? Because stagnation is worse than embarrassment. Most people protect ego. Professionals protect growth. And ego protection is expensive. It costs opportunities. It costs feedback. It costs speed. If you want their advantage, increase rejection volume. Detach identity from outcomes. Treat failure as data. Walk toward tension, not away from it. Because the fear of embarrassment is holding you hostage. And the only way out is through repetition. But here's the problem, though. Even if you conquer rejection, you might still hesitate to take big swings. Because bold action requires more than tolerance. It requires conviction. That's why I made the next video breaking down how elite performers build unshakable internal conviction, so external opinion stops controlling your decisions. Watch that next.